Hey, howdy, happy day airplanes. They won't let you fly unless you have ID, identification. However, it has to be current. It's kind of an interesting twist to that. Just yesterday, I took an airplane. Haven't been doing much of that lately, and I have an Access card. It recently expired. The new one did come in the mail, and I put it in my wallet also, but I didn't take the old one out. So yesterday, when I was about to board in the plane, they asked for identification. Take your mask off. Still have to wear masks in an airport. Son of a gun. I did all of that. Showed them my expired Access card, and they said, "Hey, that doesn't work. You can't get on. You got to have something that ain't expired." So I was kind of, I don't know, annoyed, and I expressed same. I said, "What? It's still me. I haven't expired. I haven't died. Identification is to prove that you are somebody. Look at it. It's me. That's my picture. Come on already." And they said, "Absolutely not, sir. You're not allowed to get on." And I said, "Well, what if it was a driver's license? Would that work?" "Yes, but it can't be expired." And I said, "Well, if my driver's license was expired, I'm not going to drive the plane. This is just about seeing if I'm me. I've always been me. The identification shows it's me. It's expired." What does that mean? It changes? I change? I don't think so. That's pretty dumb. Just saying. Vaccination proof. A lot of people now are kind of flexing and saying, y'all got to prove that you're vaccinated or we won't let you do this and we won't let you do that. Flying is one of them as well. And you know what? That's not very nice. 50% of the population in North America, they say, "I don't want to be vaccinated." 100% of the Democrats, the crazy people, say, "You have to be because we say." You can only do what we approve, right? And that's not good. Vaccination proof or a 72-hour negative COVID test is now required at all restaurants and bars in Palm Springs, California. Of course, it could only happen in California to begin with. I hope others don't follow, but you can't come into a bar unless you prove. You don't have to prove that you're well. You have to prove that you've been vaccinated. If you look well and you're healthy and you're not coughing or gagging, it doesn't make any difference. You got to prove that you're vaccinated or you're not allowed to come in. Restaurants and bars have 3 weeks to implement this new bylaw. So 3 weeks, really? If it's that important, why wouldn't you make it now? 3 weeks? So it's okay to keep getting sick and die. You can die for 3 weeks, but after 3 weeks, you can no longer die. Come on. Just connect all the dots properly. These people, they have flexibility too, like a soup sandwich, right? That's how solid they are as well. But it just makes me wild to see all this stuff because it doesn't make any kind of sense. California, the governor there, speaking of not making sense, still talking about California, he says that the recall effort against him is unfair. That's all you got? It's unfair? The recall election is on September 14th of 2021, and hopefully the guy will be gone. You could elect a Shetland pony. It would be a better governor than what he has been, in my humble opinion. But he goes on to say this: the real process against him is weaponized by people with opposing political views. That's an interesting statement. Of course, dumbhead. What do you think? You think people who agree with your stupid policies and everything else, they're the ones that are doing this? I don't think so. Of course it's opposing political views. What a statement. These people and their statements that make no sense, and they actually say it in such a way that some people maybe think that it's sensible. Going in a big circle now. Immigration, is it immigration or is it invasion? This is another funny thing. They're counting the illegal immigrants somehow. I don't know how you do that. When someone's breaking the law, the theory is that they don't want to be caught, and you're counting them in July. 210,000 illegal immigrants crossed the United States border. 210,000. Again, you have somebody sitting there going tick, 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 and if you are, why wouldn't you turn them back? Illegal. Is there any part of that word that is hard to understand? Illegal. Canada, same kind of thing. It is an invasion. Particularly in Canada, it's an invasion. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are invading the country. And the people that are already there, the Canadian citizens, they have to pay for it. The American citizens, they have to pay for it. They have to pay for all these people that come across. It's not very nice. It should be illegal to be a liberal. Race emboldened. When he got his medal, they all have a political statement to make too, right? And he says, "I'm protesting gun violence." He's all about gun control, and he's a fencer with a sword, And I got a good idea. We outlaw guns. Why don't we outlaw swords and knives and even martial arts? China did that a zillion years ago because they said when you use your hands, you might hurt somebody, and we're communists, and we don't want you to do that. And here's a guy that wins medals with a sword in England and other places where guns have been banned. Bad guys actually have swords and machetes and knives, and they're doing the same thing. It doesn't matter what the tool is, bad people are bad people. And this crazy guy, he said you got to ban guns, but swords are okay. Even good guys do screw up a little bit with guns, though. 120 guns were stolen from unlocked cars in Tallahassee alone, just in one place. 120 have been recorded so far this year. That's if you left a TV or something like that in your car, probably you would lock your car. You leave your gun in your car, you pull up to a place of business or a restaurant and it says no guns allowed, so you put your gun in the glove box, you jump out and you go into the restaurant and you eat, but you didn't lock your car. All you good guys, you're not thinking all the time. You better start thinking. Thinking is good, because lock your car. Don't let the bad guys have your guns. Okay, you have a society that's called this, the Open Society Policy Center. Apparently it's a non-profit place, and it gets zillions of dollars from crazy people. Most recently, it got $500,000 from George Soros. The pronunciation stuff here, but $500,000 smackers, and that's to add to other money to push for an initiative, a ballot to amend the city charter to replace the police department with a public safety agency. The Department of Public Safety will change the current police model of public safety. What that means is that you now have a police, somebody phones and says there's a family being held at gunpoint by a bad guy, police go. And they try to negotiate, and they might end up exchanging gunfire with the bad person, right? Now that would be, picture this, you'll have a minivan, and they will phone the department and say there's a bad guy in our house holding everybody hostage, and 6 or 7 people will jump in the minivan, social workers and psychiatrists and these kind of huggy people, and they'll race to the house and say, we're here to save you. And there's a bad guy with a gun. Oh boy, these people are about as sharp as marbles. I mean, how does this work? You kind of do need a police department. You all come back here tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. Hey, happy day.